Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, once stated a profound truth. The key is to only befriend those who uplift you, those whose presence helps you bring out the best in yourself. This isn't just advice on choosing friends. It's a life philosophy that helps us create a positive and constructive environment around us. As the familiar saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now think about this. How do the people around you influence your path of personal growth? Do they help you become the best version of yourself? Today we will explore this idea through the lens of Stoicism and take a closer look at 7 types of people who could derail your progress. These relationships, whether they are friends, colleagues, or family members, can be the determining factor in whether we can maintain our calm, peace, and progress in life. Before we dive in, if you find this topic interesting and useful, please leave a like so I can continue sharing Stoic philosophy with more people. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Together we'll continue our journey of exploring and applying these principles to our daily lives. Type 1, the complainer. They could be friends, co-workers, or even family members. Whether it's the weather, work, or even a meal at a famous restaurant, they always find a reason to be dissatisfied. At first you might think just ignore them and it will be fine. But in reality, it's not that simple. These people are like leaking faucets, constantly releasing negativity, and over time, you'll start to feel your mental energy draining. They make you lose interest in engaging in any conversation, and instead of feeling optimistic, you begin to sink into a sense of helplessness and fatigue. Stoicism, with its deep wisdom, doesn't encourage us to react emotionally to the negativity of others. Instead, it teaches us to focus on what we can change and resolve. When dealing with people who constantly complain, the best approach is to recognize that you can't control what they say, but you absolutely can control how you react to them. In real life, encountering complainers is inevitable. To apply Stoic philosophy in this situation, you can start by maintaining your calm and not letting their complaints affect your mood. When someone begins to criticize or complain, instead of reacting negatively or responding with frustration, you can quietly observe and assess the situation. Rather than joining the negative cycle, redirect the conversation toward solutions. For example, if they're complaining about a project, you could gently steer the conversation toward ways to fix the situation, rather than just criticizing. Additionally, if you find that these people are mentally exhausting, be proactive in limiting your exposure to them. This doesn't mean cutting them off, but rather protecting your own mental health. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius advised, we can control our minds, but we cannot control external events. When you learn not to be affected by others' negativity, you'll maintain inner peace and focus on more important things, which in turn improves your quality of life. And keep in mind that facing complainers isn't an opportunity for confrontation, but a chance to practice patience, calm, and focus on what's constructive. So by not reacting to negativity, we not only protect our own peace, but also demonstrate the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Type 2, the drama lover. Imagine your life as a peaceful journey on the sea, with each day being a calm, serene trip. But then one day you encounter an unexpected storm, a powerful whirlpool. That's what it's like dealing with people who thrive on drama. These individuals constantly exist in a series of never-ending crises, arguments, and conflicts. And unlike gentle waves, they can throw you off course, pulling you into a whirlwind of problems you never asked for. At first, you might be drawn to the strange energy they exude. Their lives seem filled with constant turmoil, excitement, and intensity, making it easy to mistake this for real passion. But once you step into their world, you'll realize that, instead of an exciting journey, you're just steering your ship through rough waters, tired and in danger. What makes dealing with drama-driven people so challenging is the way their crises spread. Their conflicts can easily pull you in, even if you weren't involved in the first place. You might find yourself becoming entangled in arguments you never wanted to be a part of. For example, you have a friend who's always at odds with everyone around them. One day they're mad at Sarah, the next they're arguing with Tom. Then this friend comes to you for advice, and you quickly realize that this cycle never seems to end. Before long, you find yourself facing off against Sarah and Tom, two people you've never had a problem with before. You've been dragged into conflicts that didn't even involve you. In such situations, one effective strategy is to practice reflective listening. Instead of offering advice or picking sides, you simply reflect back what they've said. For instance, if they say, "I can't believe Sarah said that about me," you could respond, "So you feel betrayed by what Sarah said." This technique allows you to show empathy without getting sucked into the drama. Another approach, though it may seem counterintuitive, is to selectively disengage from these crises. Stoic philosophy teaches us that time is invaluable, and sometimes we need to protect ourselves from the meaningless drama of others, especially when it's repetitive and without resolution. You might try turning off your phone for a few hours each day, creating space for work and personal growth without being interrupted. As Seneca said, true happiness is enjoying the present moment without worrying about the future. This is an incredibly valuable perspective when facing dramatic people. Instead of wondering what the next crisis will be, focus on what you can control in the present moment. Enjoy your life and don't let the tragedies of others disturb your inner peace. Steer your ship with steadiness and calm, and stay clear of dramatic storms that can derail your journey toward personal growth and serenity. Type 3, the opposite. Imagine you are an artist standing before your own painting. Each brushstroke carries with it your dreams, desires, and creativity, weaving together a world of vibrant colors and depth. And then suddenly the opposer arrives. They step into your creative space, gaze at your work, and immediately begin to criticize. Were you sure about that color? It doesn't seem very realistic. In fact, very few artists would dare to try this. Wouldn't you agree? Their words, like dull gray brushstrokes, begin to blur the vibrant painting you've been creating. This isn't constructive criticism, the kind that helps you improve. No, this is a constant wave of doubt and negativity. And if you're not careful, it can lead you to question yourself. For example, let's say you have a new dream, a new career path you're passionate about. You've done your research, learned from industry experts, and even taken a few beginner courses. But when you share your enthusiasm with the opposer, they immediately list all the reasons why your plan can't succeed. The market is too competitive. Are you sure you have what it takes? What if you fail? These questions can easily erode your initial confidence. You begin to doubt yourself, and the vision you had for the future suddenly becomes unclear. So how do you deal with these people who oppose, especially when they may be close family members or friends you cherish? One unconventional but effective method is to not just share your plans or desires, but to ask for their advice. When you give them the role of a mentor, they're less likely to outright criticize your idea and may offer more constructive feedback. This approach creates a space for positive dialogue rather than negative conflict. Another strategy is to confront the negativity with a technique called positive confrontation. Instead of just absorbing the criticism, challenge them. If they say you can't switch careers now, it's too late, you can respond, "Well, who do you think can successfully change careers at this stage?" This not only disrupts their negativity, but opens up a constructive conversation, allowing both sides to search for solutions instead of getting stuck in endless criticisms. As Zeno's philosophy teaches us, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen twice as much as we speak. Listening doesn't mean absorbing every negative opinion from others. It means distinguishing between genuinely valuable input and mere background noise. Stay alert and don't get caught up in meaningless arguments. When the opposers begin to dull the colors of your life with shades of doubt, step back, take a deep breath, and can continue painting your own masterpiece. Let it be vibrant, colorful, and perfect in your own way. Don't let anyone turn your masterpiece into a drab, dull painting. You stay firm, for only you know what the picture of your life should look like. Type 4, the victim. Life for this type of person is a never-ending series of tragedies where they are the helpless protagonist, always crushed by circumstances that seem impossible to change. I guess I'll never get promoted because my boss doesn't like me. I'll never be healthy because I was born with bad genes. These are the familiar excuses that the victim uses to avoid taking responsibility for their own life. While it's true that external factors can have an impact, they choose to use these challenges as a permanent excuse rather than acknowledging them and changing their approach. When you spend time listening to them, it's easy to get caught up in their narrative. You become a supporting character, constantly having to rescue them from situations they've created themselves. They tell you about a series of failed relationships, all of which are the fault of their exes. And then you realize that not only is this consuming your time, but it's also making you start to think like them. And you may begin to feel that your own problems are just as insurmountable, that life is inherently unfair, and there's nothing you can do to change it. So what do you do when faced with someone who always sees themselves as the victim? The natural instinct might be to want to become the rescuer, offering endless advice and emotional support. However, Stoic philosophy advises you to draw clear boundaries to protect your own mental state. One helpful strategy in this situation is compassionate detachment. You can show empathy, but don't try to rescue them from situations they must face on their own. Where you can listen, but don't make yourself the one to solve all their problems. I'll admit, I once got caught up in this type of narrative, especially with an old friend who always talked about her failures in both her career and love life. She constantly believed that she couldn't succeed because of an unfair environment or because bad luck was always following her. Each time I would try to comfort her, offer encouragement, and give advice, but I soon realized something. After every conversation, she remained exactly where she was, unchanged. Meanwhile, I felt drained, as if my own life was being affected by her endless series of tragedies. Over time, I realized that if I continued to get sucked into her victim story, I'd never move forward myself. I began applying the principle of compassionate detachment that I had learned from Stoic philosophy. I still listened and expressed empathy, but I no longer tried to fix all her problems. And instead, I encouraged her to reflect on her issues and find solutions rather than just blaming the others. I also set boundaries for myself, not allowing myself to get drawn into endless negative conversations. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the best revenge is to be unlike the one who performed the injustice. When you find yourself getting pulled into the victim narrative, remember to stand firm. Don't let yourself become part of this drama. Resist the urge to become one of them. Take control of your own life's game, make your own moves, and always remember that in this game, constantly being checkmated is a choice, not a fate. Type 5, the toxic positivity seeker. And may have encountered someone like this. They're always full of energy, radiating extreme optimism, and constantly urging you to cheer up even when you're going through tough times. They are like a refreshing breeze, bringing with them the advice, just smile, everything will be fine. In their view, life is only black and white, and they only see the bright sunshine and color rainbows. Imagine your life as a garden full of vibrant flowers, but also with weeds and pests that make the garden feel neglected. The toxic positivity seeker insists on ignoring everything imperfect. They'll tell you to focus only on the flowers and not let the pests or weeds bother you. When you face challenges, they'll tell you just smile and keep going, as if sadness or failure can simply be erased with a smile. This not only makes you feel disconnected from your real emotions, but it also makes you feel inadequate for not being able to cheer up immediately. For instance, if you've just gone through a breakup, the pain can't be summed up in a simple piece of advice like, "There are plenty of fish in the sea." In reality, you need time to feel and process your complex emotions, and that is the true path to healing. So how do you deal with someone who subscribes to toxic positivity without letting them disrupt the garden of your emotions? One helpful strategy is to help them understand that both light and darkness can coexist. And if they advise you to only focus on the positive, you can gently reply, "I'm grateful that I'm still healthy, but I also need a little time to face these emotions." That's okay too. Another approach is to use a technique psychologists refer to as emotional granularity. When they push you to cheer up, take a moment to acknowledge and accept your feelings. You can say, "Today I feel a little sad because of X, and that's normal." Sometimes clearly acknowledging your emotions can be a powerful way to release them, rather than suppressing them just to please others. So as Marcus Aurelius said, happiness in life depends on your thoughts and perceptions. This approach doesn't just focus on being positive or negative, it's about accepting life's complexity with a calm mind. So next time someone approaches you with overly positive advice, remember that a garden grows not only from the sunlight but also from the rain. Allow yourself to experience the full spectrum of emotions, from joy to sadness, from success to failure. Only then will your emotional garden truly thrive and be worthwhile. Type 6. The Manipulator. Imagine your life as a movie where you are the main character. You hold the script with carefully planned twists, reliable companions, and decisions that will shape your future. But then an enigmatic character enters the manipulator. Like a secretive producer, they start rewriting your script, subtly shifting the plot without your knowledge, until your story is completely off track. Manipulators are incredibly skilled at controlling the emotions and thoughts of others. They may use flattery, guilt, or even deceit to put you in a difficult position, exploiting your kindness to achieve their own goals. For instance, you might encounter a friend who always finds a way to make you pay for meals using lines like, "I'm going through a tough time, and you're doing so well. This won't cost much, but it'll make me feel so much better." At first, it might seem like a reasonable request, but over time, you realize you're being taken advantage of. Dealing with manipulators is not easy. They pick up on your weaknesses, whether it's your kindness, guilt, or desire for acceptance, and exploit them with finesse. One effective tactic to combat manipulation is the blind spot technique. This means you agree with any factual part of what they say but refuse to let them control your emotions. If they suggest you should pay for dinner because you're more successful, you can calmly reply, "You're right that I'm doing well, but let's split the bill like we always do." This helps you stand firm without getting sucked into their emotional whirlpool. Another strategy for dealing with manipulators is setting clear boundaries and enforcing them firmly. If they ask you to do something uncomfortable, like lending money or committing to a responsibility you don't feel right about, learn to say no assertively. For example, you might say, "I can't lend money, but I'm always here for emotional support." The key is to maintain respect in the relationship while protecting yourself from unreasonable demands. Drawing inspiration from Epictetus' Stoic philosophy, we understand that we cannot control the circumstances around us, but we can control how we respond. Manipulators thrive on predictable reactions from you. When you choose to respond differently, you can regain control of the script of your life. You are the one writing your story, and no matter how many different characters enter your life, the main character, you must lead the way based on your own values and decisions. So the next time the manipulator enters your life, remember that you hold the pen in your own story. Don't let anyone else rewrite your life. Take back control and lead the narrative in the direction you want. Type 7. The Time Vampire. Imagine each day of your life as a perfectly orchestrated symphony. Every instrument represents an important task, each sound blending together to create an effective workday and a fulfilling life. But then, the time vampire enters. They're not necessarily malicious. In fact, they might seem quite pleasant. However, their presence causes your melody to become chaotic, disrupting the rhythm of your day. A time vampire might be a colleague who continuously interrupts your work with trivial questions, preventing you from completing tasks on time. Or they could be an endless stream of social invitations, events you have no real interest in, but feel obligated to attend. While each individual interaction may seem insignificant, they slowly accumulate, disturbing your precious time. These brief moments don't just waste your time, they drain your energy and focus. So how can you protect your life's symphony from being ruined by these time vampires? One effective strategy is the Pomodoro technique, a proven time management method. Breaking work into 25-minute intervals, you can fully concentrate on the task at hand without being interrupted. During these intervals, it's crucial to set clear boundaries and refuse any distractions, treating your work time as a valuable asset. If you're dealing with time vampires in your social life, don't hesitate to decline unnecessary invitations. Instead of offering complex excuses or feeling guilty, simply respond with honesty, "Thank you for inviting me, but I won't be able to attend this time." This approach shows respect for the other person while reaffirming your right to prioritize yourself and your more important goals. By learning to protect your time, you'll not only maintain focus and productivity, but also have space to nurture relationships and activities that truly bring value to your life. Don't let time vampires gnaw away at your harmony. Always take charge and create your own rhythm for the story of your life. Each moment we live is a stroke in the overall painting of our life, and we have the power to decide which elements will contribute to that masterpiece. That's why we must be very careful about how we allocate our time, choosing what and who deserves a place in our lives. Life is like a grand piece of music, and each of us is the conductor, directing each instrument, each note so that it harmonizes with the goals and values of our life. We cannot allow time vampires to waste our precious energy. External forces can easily infiltrate our space and disrupt the symphony, but it's up to us, with clarity of purpose and steadfastness, to protect the integrity of this masterpiece. However, in our efforts to protect ourselves from external distractions, we must not forget to look inward. Sometimes we ourselves might unknowingly play the role of a time vampire in someone else's life. Self-reflection and self-awareness are essential parts of this Stoic journey. Stoicism isn't just about facing the world, it's about facing ourselves, understanding our weaknesses, and changing unhealthy habits. If today's discussion has given you something to reflect on, if you feel a shift in how you view life, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share your reflections and experiences in the comments. We can learn from each other and build a community focused on self-improvement and Stoic wisdom. Thank you for watching our video. If you find this video valuable and meaningful, please share it with your friends and relatives. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos from our channel in the future.